Greetings again and blessed love. My name is Andre O. Ferguson. Welcome back to my channel. This is a channel dedicated to relationships, dedicated to men specifically who are looking to better their relationship, who are looking to make sure that they are successful in managing their relationship and making themselves and their wives happy. This is the Story of Man vibe. Welcome back. Enough love and enough respect, and thank you for taking the time to be here. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you're the right so with I am. So enough love, enough respect. Today I want to talk about 5 things that men believe that are detrimental to their relationship. 5 things we believe as men that are detrimental to our relationships and are actually lies and sometimes are major wrong assumptions. Number 1, sometimes we believe that if sex is better outside of marriage, we don't need to get into marriage. And it is a crazy belief. And if we also believe that if sex were different in our marriage, if our sex life was better, our marriage would be happier. Number 1, listen, if your sex life is not as good as it could be, that means there's something wrong with your marriage. If there's something wrong with your sex life, that means there's something wrong with your relationship. Sex, in turn, making love, I rather say, is a connection between you and your partner. It is a deep emotional connection, and it is deeper than the physical act of just sex, as a lot of us in the world today just program it and say. It is making love. What that actually means is an expression of my love to you and vice versa, your love to me. And when we connect on that deeper spiritual, emotional level, we will find an explosion in that love-making process. And it's very few people have felt that, but the people who have felt that really understand what I'm talking about. And that should be what we strive for when it comes to love-making within our relationship. It should be about love-making. It should be about an expression of your love, your feelings, your emotion to that woman or that man. Remember, sex, making love, is the cherry on top of the cake. The cake is the most important bit. So unless you're connected with her up here and in here, your sex life is gonna be rubbish. That's just what it is. So in order to make real, deep, meaningful, explosive, electric love, you need to be connected on a more intimate level, a more emotional level, a mental level, a more spiritual level. Deeper connection equals deeper and more meaningful love making. And that's just a fact, whether you want to believe that or not. So hear me, I say now, make sure you connect with your woman, your man on a deeper level so that both of you can feel the real vitality, the real meaning of love making in your relationship. And in turn, you will have a much more productive and interesting and energetic and awesome love life. Yeah? So that's number 1. Number 2, men, especially from my culture and African culture, we believe that because we are leaders, a lot of us, we grew up with this mentality, the wife's opinions are less important. Because I'm the leader, your opinion is less important than mine. Because I'm called to serve and to lead and to provide and to protect, then your feelings, your views, your wants and needs and your opinions are less important than mine. Brothers, if you hold that opinion, if you hold that view, I beg you please right now today, get rid of that view. It is dangerous. What you're doing is you're excluding your partner, your wife, from the actual process of being in an inclusive relationship with you. And what you're doing is you're having a hierarchical type of relationship where you just give instructions and everybody else around you just needs to follow. And that's just not right. That's just not how it is supposed to be. A relationship is mutual, love giving and receiving. And if you're not doing that, then you're doing the wrong thing. She needs to feel as valued. Her opinion is as valuable as yours. Just because you're the man and you have a leadership role doesn't mean she doesn't have as an important a role as you do. Her role is just different. But her opinions, her views, her points of views are just as important and are necessary for you to know, understand, and give and live up to so that she can feel valued and respected and needed as much as you feel like you should be because you're the leader. Just because you're the leader doesn't mean your opinion is more important than hers. That is a serious point, and a lot of us as men, we hold that viewpoint, and it is toxic and it is wrong, and we need to get rid of that as quickly as possible so that we can make our wives or partners or girlfriends feel as important as they actually are. My wife is responsible for my happiness, but I'm not responsible for hers. Madness If you hold that view, please, I beg of you right now, today, this minute, get rid of that. It is such a selfish point of view. And it goes back to the first point as well. You know, a lot of us as men, when we're in the act of sex or love making, we just want to make sure we're good, right? I'm good. And once I'm good, done. You don't spend time thinking about how you're going to make her feel loved. Are you taking care of her needs? Are you doing the things that she wants you to do? Are you making love to her in the right and proper way? Are you responsible for her happiness? 100%, just as much as she's responsible for yours. So you need to provide for her needs just as much as you'd like her to provide for yours. And that is just madness if you think anything other than that. Your job isn't just to provide and to come in and pay the bills and and then her job is to make sure you're happy. No, it's equal, because just because you might be in a relationship, and it's very rare these days because 70% of university students in the US and in the UK are female. So it's very rare that you're going to have a wife at home waiting to serve you when you get in these days. But if that is the case in your relationship, and even if it isn't the case, you are just as responsible for your wife's happiness or your girlfriend's happiness as she is for yours. And the only way to make sure that she's happy is to figure out her love language. What does she need from you? How does she need you to love her? Not the way you think that you are loving her, because that doesn't equate to you loving her the way she needs to be loved. And just because in your head you think, right, I'm loving her and she just needs to be happy with the fact that I'm loving her and I'm here. No, you need to make sure you're loving her in accordance with her love language, meaning in accordance with her needs and desires and the things that actually make her happy. I always tell the story the day I bought my wife a blue rose. I bought her a blue rose. She didn't like blue roses, and the blue rose stayed on the counter and it died, right? If I had bought my wife a lily, which is what she loves, then she would have taken care of that lily. She would have put it in water and she would have cherished it. So if you're loving your wife in a way that your girlfriend, your partner, in a way that she doesn't want to be loved, or she doesn't receive love that way, then you're going to struggle to be happy, because she's going to struggle to make you happy because she is unhappy. So the responsibility is twofold, right? It's a two-way street. She's responsible for your happiness 100%, but you're just as responsible for her happiness as well. The next one I want to touch is my wife should do more around the house than I do. Okay. Well, again, if you're from my culture where you grow up and you see your grandmother cleaning the house all the time and grandpa just going to the bush, chop bush and feed the cow and the donkey and the goat and plant the yam and the banana, and he goes out and work and grandma take care of the house, okay, I can understand the mentality. That's where I'm from. A lot of my friends as well, that's where we're from. We live in a different world at the moment. So we have to understand that duties around the house are shared. I like cleaning, I like ironing. So I tell my wife, look, I'll do all the ironing, I'll do all the cleaning. You deal with the kitchen. And even then, I cook as well. You know what I mean? So we have to be able to understand the needs of your relationship and the needs of your partner. There's time when your wife, your missus, won't be able to do anything, and you need to be able to step into that role and do that as well. But not just when she can't. You need to be able to share that so she doesn't feel overwhelmed with all of this housework and she doesn't feel like just a housewife and that's all you want from her. You need to be able to share that. And I tell you a secret, Reggie. You see, when you do them thing there, the bedroom life is nicer. Big man thing. If you do them things, and if you share the load and share the burden, and you're happy to do these things and cook with her and clean with her and all of these things, what you need inside the bedroom will be a lot sweeter. A big man thing. I tell you that. Trust me. Any woman on here listening to this, you will concur. So let me know in the comments if you agree. Yeah. And last, my wife should just be happy that I'm a faithful man. My wife should just be happy that I'm a faithful man and a good provider. You see, I have a real problem with this, because a lot of the abuse that you hear about in a relationship are purely based on this type of thinking, right? 1, 2, a lot of the abuse that you hear about in relationships, meaning men to women or women to men, is about the fact that, I do all of these things and you just need to be happy that I do these things. I provide. And providing is enough, because that's how a lot of us were raised as men, right? And faithful. Well, faithfulness is a whole nother thing, because a lot of the people that say they're faithful and they're providers aren't actually faithful. Because if you're faithful, your priority is the happiness of your wife, not the fact, or your partner, not the fact that you provide and that's enough. You providing doesn't make her happy. Buying her stuff doesn't make her happy. putting food on the table isn't necessarily happiness. It is provision, and that's an important part of your role. But in leadership, in kingship, as a lot of us want to feel, it is about making sure she feels like a queen, right? And just because I'm providing and I'm faithful doesn't mean that she should just be grateful for that. She should be, but isn't the only thing that she should be. And you should definitely not have that mindset. Your mindset should be, yes, I'm a provider, I'm a protector, I'm a leader, I'm a priest in my household, but I'm also a counselor. I'm also a teacher. I'm also a nurturer as well, if needs be. Your partner might need you to just listen. So, as I said earlier, it is very important that we understand the love languages of the women that we're with. If we don't understand the love languages of women that we're with, we're going to struggle to make them happy. And if we don't make them happy, we're going to be unhappy because we're always going to be complaining about this, that, or the other. Fact of the matter is, within relationships, it takes two people to make it work. But bigger than that, it takes understanding, it takes compassion, it takes patience, and it takes a real will to make it work. And if you're not going to do those things, don't get into a relationship. You're not ready for a relationship yet. And a lot of you out there who are jumping in and out of relationships, like I used to, so I'm not judging anybody. Please understand that what we do when we do these things is we create problems for the person coming behind us, and we create problems for the people that we're jumping in and out of relationships with. Because what we're doing is we're informing them not to be able to trust, not to be able to compromise, not to be able to look for the other person's feeling first. Whereas in a relationship, that's what it takes. My job is to love my wife. Her job is to love me. My job is to provide and protect for her. Her job is to do that for me. So if I'm doing my job for her and she's doing my job for me, I don't need to be worried about this, that, and the other because she's taking care of that. But if we have trauma, meaning you might be a woman who's been cheated on many times, you might be a man who's been cheated on many times or disrespected, which is very important to us, you're going to struggle to trust a woman to respect you and treat you the way you should be treated or feel like you should be treated. And if you're a lady, you're going to struggle to feel as valued as you would because you've been informed by these men that you're not as valuable, which is incorrect because you are. So, that being said, in conclusion, remember, the 5 things I've just said to you are key in terms of how you manage and run a successful relationship. These assumptions that a lot of us hold as men need to be eradicated. And as women, if you hold these assumptions as well, you need to eradicate them because a lot of women grow up in certain cultures or around certain behaviors and they feel certain things are okay and they're not. Okay? So hopefully these things have been beneficial to you. Please let me know in the comments. Again, I'm dedicated to helping and supporting men like myself who are married or trying to get into a relationship or are in relationships and looking to make further steps and make their relationship better. I'm dedicated to supporting you. And don't be worried. A lot of these topics seem to be about problems. I'm trying to go from one end to the other. So we will work out the kinks as we go along. All of these things are important and we all need to learn them. Communication is key and we need to factor in the fact that we are getting into a relationship with a whole nother person and that person's mindset is different to ours. And if we don't take that into consideration and equate that to what we actually want, which is happiness, we're going to struggle to achieve that happiness. So again, hopefully this has helped. Please like, subscribe to the channel, share this video. I beg you, please, if you know anyone that it might be of value to, and hopefully this has helped you. Please let me know. Until next time, enough love and enough respect. This was the Story of Man Vibe. My name is Andre O. Ferguson. Blessed love. And remember, write your